What is going on, guys? PoliticsGaming here. Today I am going to be doing a new live stream. This is just going to be a simple USA playthrough. I'm actually going to be trying my hardest to actually manage the economy. And I'm actually doing this without doing a value-added tax. Value-added tax actually seems like not exactly cheating, but it is a very, very easy way to actually get out of a deficit with a considerable amount of money making abilities. I'm going to have Jake on the live stream as well. We're going to be talking about EverSim. We're going to be talking about version 6.39. And we are also going to be talking about the possibility of collabs in the future with the company of EverSim, which is going to be my channel with EverSim, since that is actually something I'm going to be hyping up once I actually get a reply from EverSim. Other than that, I'm going to go ahead and unmute my mic from Jake because I wanted to do my little introduction, and we're going to go ahead and start talking. Other things we're going to be talking about is just current events, things that are going on in the world, and all with the tune of Power and Revolution. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and have Jake back in the live stream. I just unmuted my mic so he can hear me. What's going on, Jake?
What's up, man?
Welcome to the Pacer test.
Yeah, I forgot the whole idea of like what it says and everything, Let me, you know what? Sorry, I had to mute the stream, but I forgot what it said in the Pacer test. I was gonna have that as a meme, but
I remember it. It's like damn, I completely forgot about it. I don't know, but in this USA playthrough, I actually have a high-speed railway. I'm actually developing several high-speed railways. Like one's actually connecting Dallas to Chicago. Another is connecting Dallas to Houston, and then I also built one. And this was actually last night. I actually connected one between Los Angeles and Las Vegas. So I'm actually amping up the amounts of infrastructure that's actually in the United States. I'm actually trying to decide on what other cities I should actually connect via high-speed rail. Because I actually already signed a high-speed railway contract with Canada, but I didn't know what cities to actually connect. I was thinking of doing Washington and Ottawa, but I was also thinking New York and Ottawa. I didn't know if it would be more interesting to connect the most populous city or to connect the nation's capital to the other national capital.
Okay. It's not bad of an idea, except it's probably going to cost a lot of money. What kind of, are you going to do a main highway road, or you said you're doing a railroad, right?
This is a railway.
Or railway, rather. Yeah, okay. So yeah, that's going to cost roughly about how much?
It costs a lot of money.
Yeah, it's going to cost a lot. So, plus you're in trillions of debt. But, I mean, if you miraculously... so you said you're not going to do a value-added tax. So are you going to, like, remove troops from bases and, like...
I could actually start doing troop reductions, but at the same time, let me look at what I'm doing right now. I actually increased the financial transaction tax to 0.25%, and I could actually just continue raising it over time. And at the same time, I really, really want to work on lowering taxes, especially for the high and middle class.
Right. I would say you should lower the low income tax as well, because it's at 10%. That's, that's a lot. So I think we 10%? Should lower all three. Yeah. Because I think, obviously, if you have a... well, you're not going to have a value-added tax, so that's going to be a little difficult. I mean, you could just trade a lot. That's one thing.
Yeah, I mean, I've already signed... I'm actually thinking of signing some import contracts. I'm actually going to lower all of them by 1%. So yeah. I think that will actually be a good idea. That actually has bipartisan support in both houses. That expanded my deficit to 0.38.
Yeah.
Football World Cup. Of course, the U.S. is in 4th place.
How about you should try doing some tax exemptions if you don't already have them.
Tax exemptions like in real
For like
estate
Social
or
Security and real estate. That's personally like my favorite tax exemption.
I declared a tax amnesty.
Oh, you did? Okay. Okay.
That costed me like $25 billion. Real estate, I don't know the benefits of doing that. I would definitely have to raise taxes somewhere, probably in a transaction. But I don't
Right.
know. I don't know the benefits of doing tax exemptions for investment in real estates.
It just basically like it adds into your real estate industry and stuff, and it adds a lot of more activity in it. So it really helps a lot personally. What I've seen so far, a lot of people tend
It
to
is
be
pretty expensive though, because from what I know, it costs over $100
investing
billion.
to it, and then that you just cut out. What'd you say?
Yeah, you were cutting out too.
Oh, my bad. It's probably my end. Then I'm not sure.
So we are now July, August, September, October, November. We are now 4 months from the midterm elections, which I mean I should actually be able to win by a good amount.
And then
Because it's pretty easy to actually win the midterm elections. Two moderators
that is
talking to each
true.
other.
I know, right?
I'm gonna do let me see what I can do here. Journey to Mars, 30% chance of failure. So I need to do another space probe with exploration robot. All right, so I'm gonna call this. Call it the Isaiah 1. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do full funding, create. I need to do all that by 2024. Hang on. Less than 30% risk of failure after 9/8/2020.
You know what I find kind of upsetting about EverSim, speaking on like the topic of the EverSim collab that you're gonna have and stuff. I was just gonna say, like, you know how there's in real life we have a illegal immigrant. I mean, this is my opinion. I personally think there's a illegal immigration problem in the U.S. I don't know about other people in the stream. I'm totally fine to have like a debate like later on or something with them, but I feel like honestly within the game, considering most people know that there's issues with our immigration services and stuff, and how we tend to just allow in so many people illegally and stuff, and then we vet them and all that. There should be a thing about healthcare. I mean, not healthcare. Sorry, I was reading his thing. But there should be a thing that rises. I don't know how to explain it, but like there should be something that rises with illegal immigration. Like maybe like crime or something. Because if you just have so much illegal immigrants in Power and Revolution, nothing really happens. So it's kind of like
Okay. Yeah, that pretty much makes sense because, like, the more illegal immigrants you're having, the more you have to deal with like the increasing budget and stuff like that.
Yeah, pretty much.
And then either regularizing them or deporting them and like lowers your funding for immigration and stuff like that. Yeah, that would actually make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Which actually,
And there's
the immigration tab is actually in Homeland Security in the Homeland Security funding. So
right. So it's just kind of like that. Wait, it is. Oh, I didn't realize that. It's just kind of a confusing thing on Power and Revolution because there's no way to actually tell, like what's happening when you let in all these illegal immigrants in Power and Revolution.
Because you can
Also,
change like the integration policy to like an open border policy,
oh, you
and
can.
yeah, you can, and then like that's whenever you get like because I've actually done that as the United States, and it was actually in that Ocasio-Cortez live stream, and I actually received like over 2 million 2 million in migration status, I think. Not migrate, yeah, it was migration flow by year. So 2 million people were flowing in.
Oh, nice. That's pretty interesting. I didn't know that there was, Oh, okay. Migration flow by year. Oh, okay. Because I'm
Well,
gonna start playing right
oh,
now.
speaking of
You were
that,
saying while you're playing as well.
yeah, I completely forgot. Someone just asked the question, what is this about EverSim collab discussion? For those who don't know, and I'm talking to the live stream now, I'm not talking to Jake. For those who don't know, I am actually in talks with EverSim of doing another collaboration. This collaboration is ranging from several things. I'm actually going to pull up the email right now. And this was with Louise Marie Cortez. I almost said Cortez. This was this was discussed with Louise Marie Roquez, who is the founder of the company of EverSim. He founded it with his twin brother, I believe. And let me actually just pull it up. Okay, so I emailed EverSim one time and I said, hey, we're the community's worried, and I'm sort of worried that you guys are just going to drop support for the game like you did with Masters of the World. And so I'm emailing you to wonder, if you would be interested in allowing me, PoliticsGaming, to be more of a community outreach, especially to the American and English community. And so he emailed me back, and this is the entire email. He said, first of all, I can confirm this is after 6.38 was actually released to the public. And so this is another thing that he said. He said, we wait for official news on our website until all versions are actually patched, which is Mac, PC, Steam, in all of the languages. And then he said that I can also confirm we will continue support to the game, and this will continue in the future. So then I gave him suggestions on improvements and stuff that we can do, such as naming highways. That was actually an idea that I gave him. And so this is what he said on the collaboration between PG and EverSim. He said, we are certainly open to having a deeper collaboration with you, as this would help improve support to the player community. What I am not sure about is how to proceed. We can of course share with you news when we have that news. I have to kind of read through it because his English is kind of questionable. But maybe you have some ideas, and then that's whenever I suggested, it would be cool if we could actually have an interview, a community Discord server, which I've already actually formed that Discord server, and I'm just waiting for the green light by EverSim to actually start inviting people, and for EverSim themselves to actually join the Discord server. So that's basically the whole thing about collaborating with EverSim. And once I actually get an email back from EverSim and Louise Marie especially, that's whenever I'm going to start making an announcement on what this collaboration will actually be. One thing would actually, and maybe if we can actually talk about it, there could be a giveaway of Power and Revolution. Just a actual thing, maybe even the Power and Revolution Expert Pack, which comes with all of the DLCs, which actually would make a lot of sense, or at least the 2018 edition. And other things obviously would have to be like an interview with EverSim. We can talk, and I could ask them questions that the community is dying to answer. I know people are obviously going to be all, I want multiplayer, I want this, I want that. But that's already been noted, honestly. And so that's actually my whole thing about the EverSim collaboration. That's actually why I'm wanting to get with the community and just start asking you guys what you guys would like to see in the game and stuff like that. Bug fixes and multiplayer have already been noted, so I do suggest you guys actually be creative. Other than that, what do you think about that, Jake?
I think that's a great idea, to be honest. I mean, that's going to give a lot of opportunity for people who aren't as close as you are with the EverSim developers and stuff. So I think it's going to be a good idea.
Mm-hmm. Which, I mean, I don't really know. EverSim seems to have a hard time at the game and adding a bunch of ideas. I mean, yeah, I mean, I guess. I mean, they're obviously they seem to be more interested in adding more content than fixing a lot of the bugs. Fixing the bugs would obviously have to be a topic of discussion, and that's obviously something that I would definitely say is that, like, I mean, you guys do focus a lot on bugs and or not bugs. You guys focus a lot on stuff like content and stuff like that. Like, I mean, it would be good, but I mean, you know, a lot of people are obviously going like, well, we need to give them well, we want this in the game, we want that in the game. So I don't know the whole thing about like the separation between what content should be added and the prioritization over fixing bugs. Which, I mean, I get why there's bugs in this game because this game has to go in line with like so many different valuables. Because I mean, it has to track like growth forecast, GDP is world share, exports, imports, trade balances.
Yeah.
Like it's like and then it has to track like the economic data from like over 100 different sectors, which I mean I'm pretty excited. And I mean this was another thing that I wanted to discuss. Which I mean I haven't gotten any emails yet, and I'm trying to contact EverSim. I mean obviously I think they reply to me more than they reply to everyone else, but um I'm actually, I mean, I know for sure that research is actually going to be fixed in this upcoming version, which I mean I'm pretty excited about because I really wanted to see fusion nuclear power plants.
That's going to be really cool, to be
I
honest.
think that's going to be awesome
Yeah, that will, for sure.
because like nuclear fission allows you to produce nuclear electricity and nuclear submarines, and they should also like be. You should also be able to uh, what do you call it? Continue uh, or yeah, this should. I mean, what I got from EverSim is that in this next version, the consequences of researching and stuff like that, like carbon nanofiber, like you cannot even research that. And once you actually do research it, it's not even added as a new economic sector.
Oh, it isn't? I did
No.
not know that because I haven't ever done research that much yet at all, actually. Because I
I
never really
just
knew how
I
they work.
just had an idea.
Huh.
Maybe one of the reasons why it's not is because I mean no one has it at the beginning of the game, right? Like carbon nanofiber.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Maybe like you're the only one whenever you discover it, you're the only one that even has it. You're the only
Hmm.
one that even has it, and so there's no reason to even have an economic sector because no one else is going to be able to trade it with you.
Not bad of an idea.
No, I
That's
mean
gonna get
I
confusing.
think that's the reason why it doesn't even do anything unless two countries actually have it. I've never tried that before. I highly doubt it's gonna work, but I mean I could probably give it a try.
And you've got me confused.
Well,
Because I honestly don't know much about research. I've only, like, most recently just up to my research budget, and that's about it.
the only reason I never really like to put money into research and stuff like that, except whenever I really want to go after something, probably like nuclear electricity, stuff like
Space
that.
research.
Yeah, I mean, space research seems to be the only reason to even put money into researching. And so,
Uh-huh.
one of the things that I've been disappointed about, especially in research, and I mean, they said that they're going to fix this in the next update, research doesn't even do anything. Like, I mean, okay, my entire idea that I was talking about earlier just kind of got thrown away because, I mean, you can't even produce fusion nuclear power plants. But, like, the reason what I was talking about is that, like, I mean, it says it right here that in matter sciences, you're supposed to be able to unlock a fusion nuclear power plant. So it's completely different. It's a completely different facility from nuclear fission. Because fission is whenever you split atoms apart. Fusion is whenever you put them together.
Right.
And so there's there's actually like fusion nuclear power plants, and it's a completely different nuclear power plant. It's supposed to produce more and stuff like that. And it's not even able to do it. And especially like whenever you discover things like cold fusion, like cold fusion is supposed to give you more electricity production in nuclear power plants, and it still doesn't.
I want to see what you're doing on your screen. All right.
I'm just looking through the research tree. I'm supposed to be doing I'm gonna increase. Whoa, hang on. I was gonna put my researchers at 1.5 million.
So why is Sweden a little unfriendly with the U.S.? I'm kind of confused about that.
Let me look.
Because I'm currently
They are a
playing as the
socialist
U.S.
regime,
right
and
now.
we're a conservative rightist regime.
Oh, okay. All right.
Isaiah, if you have a couple of ideas, you should totally put them in, and I could actually note them if they actually seem interestingly enough. Interestingly enough, that made no sense.
Oh my god. You know what'd
Wouldn't it
be
be
amazing?
cool? What?
Is if I could somehow miraculously fund a new rebel group to start up in a country, like let's say Iran, and I could fund a monarchist rebel group to like reform Iran into going back to the Pahlavi, dynasty that used to be around, or
Mm-hmm.
however you say his last name. We could do something like that. That'd be pretty cool if you could like fund a pretender, or something, or fund some type of group.
Yeah.
Make it. I don't know how to. But right now it's just kind of hard. Wait a second. Uh, Dude, OPEC is getting really annoying right now in game for me.
Why?
Because it's got like the let me check what that is. Their amount per toe, I think it is. Or wait, what did they say? Oh god, no, there's
It's
a
called
huge
toe.
riot going on. Yeah, a toe. Their price is actually pretty damn big. So
I'm trying to
yeah,
figure out which countries I need to pull out of. I was thinking of Qatar because they always ask me to pull out.
yeah, why did we all of a sudden get really red with Qatar? Because like
I don't know. I mean, that was completely new. Like for some reason,
yeah,
ever since the newest update, like I mean, Qatar is always asking you to leave, but you can't do any, or I mean, you can decide to stay. I mean, the only reason I ever would really want to keep troops in there is because you have over 28,000 troops. I mean, you got a nearby base. Well, actually, it's not. That's actually just a naval base in Bahrain.
yeah, and then you've got an air force base and a ground troops base over at the mainland Qatar.
It's actually called Qatar.
That's what it was. Well, I mean, I saw. I'm guessing you got that from Geography Now or whatever that guy
No,
on
I
YouTube.
that's how I used to call it. I mean, like even before Geography Now, I always called it Qatar.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
I didn't know that was actually it. I thought that was just like a thing that Westerners used to call it, but like their actual name was like Qatar, Qatar, Qatar. Oh my god, I can't even say it. Dude, I can say any country in the world, like say Chili's, or I think that's I don't even know, dude. I could say most country names except for Qatar, 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 Qatar. I don't know.
Jesus Christ.
What's a country that is hard to say?
Someone said that it was called Qatar, like Katar, like just emphasis on the K and T.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna move my drones all the way in to Qatar. I just did a 2-month repatriation of my troops.
You know, Nabe, that's actually a really good thing, like, or a good idea, rather. He said that he would want to join a terrorist organization, but, like, you know, in the game. But he says as a country, which that actually has me confused now. No, but honestly, I mean, like, can Hitler rule Germany? I mean, that's up to you.
Oh yeah, speaking of that, I'm actually really, really close to actually being self-sufficient in natural gas production.
Oh, you have.
Like, because I wish funding terror groups has more effect. Yeah, that would actually be really cool.
But it does, but it just takes long. Like, it takes, you know, like 2 years.
Can you actually like get like terrorist groups to actually rise up, like in Iran or something?
Yeah, if you fund them like a ton.
Oh man, there's a famine in Georgia. That is so sad. Alexa, play Despacito. Which, I mean, I thought it was really cool, because in Power and Revolution, or not Power and Revolution, Masters of the World, there would actually be times, and this was after the rise of ISIS and stuff like that. There was actually like a power vacuum that they actually did in Iraq. So like sometimes I would literally like try to cut spending in my military sector. So I tried to dismantle my base in Iraq. And so what happened is that actually like whenever I pull all the troops out, then that's whenever like a couple of months later, that's whenever it starts saying like there's a massive power vacuum happening in Iraq, stuff like that. I actually need to do a gameplay of it and kind of like feature it or something because I thought it was one of the most interesting things I've ever seen as Iraq.
That's pretty cool.
Oh. Conservative rightist Muslim group won the elections in Iraq.
Just right now, like in the game?
In the beginning of the game, there's a like a election that happens in Iraq.
Oh yeah.
One of the reasons why I don't like to play Russia, or I want to play, I kind of want to play Iraq, but I mean, like, you have to start like right away in an election campaign, and you have no time to actually like gain approval.
Right.
But Iraq is actually playable now because they actually have a like a stable country, like stable as in you don't have to screw around with what do you call it, terrorists in the north.
True, because they already got destroyed.
Speaking of, I'm actually gonna what?
Just remembered. So, you know how you can rig an election by cyber attacks?
Mm-hmm.
I wish you could do it to a specific political party, like even one that's not there yet, but you could like fund it, because you know how you can change a party, and that even if there isn't one there, rather.
So like you can fund like an up and coming party that has no seats.
Yeah, that's what I would want to do. But I guess you can only fund, or I mean, can you only rig and fund a political party that is
Hang on, I'll check it in a second. I'm actually just I'm building a couple of facilities to increase my natural gas production.
Okay. I need to look this up. So what is this even?
I'm gonna build a shale gas. Oh, never mind. I can't do it in California.
What would I need a fowl for?
A what?
Fowl.
Fowl?
Yeah, the bird, you know? Canada's trying to sell me a bunch of stuff.
You can use it in fast food production. In your services.
Oh.
Fowl is chicken.
Yeah. Oh, it's chicken in this game? Because usually it's just bird. But, you know. I mean, I know chicken is a bird, but like... that's got me confused, dude.
No, I mean, fowl is just a European term for chicken.
Oh, I see.
Someone said, I eat fowl every day. No one cares.
Oh, God.
I know chicken is bird, like, what?
Monkey 1996 from. An idea would be
if you were to build the wall, Mexico would break down relations.
How do you even build a wall? Like, because it says the number of walls to build. It's got me confused.
I look at it. I kind of look at it as miles.
Oh, okay.
Like,
how many miles are on the southern border, anyways?
2,500, 3,000, I think.
Oh, okay.
Let me see what my fowl production is.
Dude, Canada's trying to sell me like 3/4 of all of their production of fowl. Dude, they're like...
yeah, I mean, it has a picture. Let's see what else they need. They need cereals and maize. Wow, I'm actually really self-sufficient in maize. What about cereals?
Ooh, what can I do in the G7? I feel like I should sanction Russia just for the sake of it. You know what would be really cool is if it could tell you every time something big happens in the world other than having to look in the newspaper. So like say the Russian government calls for a total ban of like, let's say, a sect, you could like see it right there and then.
And then you could probably react to it, like condemn them, and then it lowers relations, or support it, and then it ups relations.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool.
It'd be like a better version of or it would kind of like enhance the roleplay or something like that. Kind of like how everyone would always condemn each other in Superpowered 2 multiplayer. We should be able to gas our own people. Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of people like always talking about wanting
genocide.
Yeah, genocide.
That would be pretty cool. I mean, like, come on now. Holocaust DLC? Oh, jeez. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think EverSim's trying to get on CNN or something.
Oh, God, that would be hilarious. Then again, they're all French, aren't they? Like the developers of EverSim.
Yeah, they're all French.
Oh, okay. Usually French people are better at English.
I'm gonna give tax credits for people using clean energies in their homes. Oh, the GOP is completely against it. Good thing I didn't propose that before after the midterms.
You'd think they'd be for that because, I mean, I guess it kind of saves money in the long run. But I mean, I don't know.
Anything where we can actually like help people and stuff like that, like with tax credits and stuff like that, I'm totally for that. Especially with clean energies, because I mean, in like, whenever I play a game or something like that, especially kind of like this, oh damn, there's a forest fire. I tend to play it as my own person, and sometimes, I mean, you know, it's actually pretty fun to actually do it as a kind of like pretending to be like Donald Trump or something like that.
Right.
But I like to do my own thing and then kind of act as if I was the president.
That's exactly what I do.
Like, because what I usually like to do, I especially love to concentrate on um energy and stuff like that. And I really like to like dismantle fossil energies, like get away from like fossil fuels and stuff like that and go toward more renewable energies like nuclear and solar. Like nuclear and solar power in this game is like my complete favorite.
It makes the environmentalists like you a lot.
Which, speaking of, I'm gonna build like 20 more solar power plants.
It's not bad of an idea.
I built like 20 whenever I started this game yesterday, and so.
Jeez. So you know how there's mafias that are considered terrorist groups in your country? Like, what are their? I'm so confused.
They usually participate in like assassinations. They never really do anything bombing.
Yeah. Do they have like an ideology, like a far right ideology or far left, like communist?
I'll check in a second.
Because I'm checking right now and it doesn't say anything. Like the Chinese.
If it doesn't say it,
mafia.
then usually no.
Because I know I think the Russian mafia is actually extreme left. I've seen or something. I'm not really sure though. Yes, there are sex scandals.
Yeah, there are sex scandals. I mean, you can see them and stuff like that. So, I mean, speaking of sex scandals, I should start a sex scandal with that top model or whatever, like the sexiest person in the game. Like for some reason, they actually they actually tried to make the 3D model actually look good.
I thought you were gonna say Stormy Daniels.
She kind of looks like Stormy Daniels. I'm gonna actually get a meeting with her.
Do it.
Or I could just divorce Melania.
Dude, so many people would get mad. How do you still have 100%?
It's really easy to keep 100% approval in normal mode.
True, but I do a lot of things way too quick, so that's probably my issue.
Yeah, probably.
And I like to lower taxes a lot. I like to do that. Total jihad. I'm tempted to change all the flags and stuff. Kind of annoying.
Approval is broken? How is approval broken?
I'm putting in people.
Honestly, another thing which would actually be really cool is actually if they did a what do you call it? Nuclear terrorism. God, I swear to God, that would be the best thing ever.
Oh yeah, I remember there was a huge scare with ISIS when a lot of militias would like go on.
Yeah, I mean, like
their nuclear plants.
That would literally be like the best DLC like ever.
Yeah, you know, it'd be a really cool thing is if you could start like a paramilitary that's in support of your leadership or your regime, kind of like the Fedayeen or however you say it. It was the Saddam Hussein supporters that were like really big loyalists that would fight for him and
Ba'athists?
for him. Yeah, they were the Ba'athists, but they were called like Fedayeen or something.
Was this after the Iraq War?
No, it was before and during, and then I think it pretty much ended after because Saddam died. Well, he was captured rather, and then he died.
Speaking of that, what's your opinion on the Iraq War?
I'm against it personally. I think it was just a waste of time, money, except I think Iraq should have listened to the UN, so it should have been more of a UN kind of involvement in a way, but the UN wouldn't really do anything, and they're kind of
UN never wants to do anything.
Exactly, that's my issue. So I don't really. I mean, like, I want to say that I kind of wish he would have stayed, but he did violate international law. But I'm kind of more of a non-interventional, non-interventionalist kind of person. Like, personally, I would support Assad over the Free Syrian Army because the FSA is pretty much full of Al-Qaeda sympathizers. Ugh, I can't talk. What is your opinion
on the Iraq War?
Yeah.
I think it was again like a waste of money and time.
Yeah.
I mean, I lost someone, a family member in Iraq, so I was personally affected by it.
Mhm.
So, it's kind of sucks.
Yeah, it does suck. I mean, like my cousin and my brother were both in the military, and my cousin, she's still in the military. So like, except my brother, he wasn't.
Since when do women
she was
do anything?
She's a combat engineer and she's a captain in the army, so she's an officer. She's only shot her gun like a couple times in Afghanistan and Iraq.
I'm kidding. That was totally a joke.
Well, yeah, I knew it was a joke, but I was just clarifying so people knew. I
Yeah.
would have made the joke back, like saying, "Oh yeah, my cousin should have been in the."
Okay.
People would have probably.
What's the benefit of? Wait, hang on. What? Ready to start an extramarital relationship, 75%. Attracted to the head of state, 10. You bitch. I don't know the.
Well, Trump is fat. Okay.
What's the benefit of a character taking a card out for your party?
She just she'll basically campaign for your party in the elections and stuff. Or if you start a new party, then they'll join your party, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't hurt to do it.
So we're getting a couple. Yeah, sorry. So we're getting a couple of comments right here. We're saying someone said, "I'm glad we went in actually, not just for reasons we were told though. I also would support the Kurds, sick of these people being oppressed for centuries."
I do not support Syrian Kurds.
And by the way, Mr. Cheeky Monkey, in reply to your suggestion on biochemical attacks, they actually do occur. They occur in terrorist attacks. I've actually suffered several of them whenever I had a gameplay as Syria. And I think actually you can actually go back to my Syria gameplay, my Syria live stream, and you can actually probably find it. You would have to dig a lot though. Ouch. But yeah, they actually do occur. It's usually those are the terrorist attacks that actually cause the most casualties. But they actually do occur because instead of just having to launch chemical weapons from your arsenal of chemical weapons. But sorry, what were you talking about?
What was I talking about?
Yeah.
Oh, I was done.
Oh, okay. Then
space research.
And then there are also suggestions of like having regime changes and stuff like that. Which, I mean, it goes back to the question, I mean, like, would having puppet governments in this game actually, like, make sense?
Yes.
Because, I mean, there's colonies, but colonies aren't exactly, like, the most, like, puppet-like.
Yeah, they're not. They're just basically whatever you... They don't really have a purpose, to be honest, other than you make money off of them.
My oil production and natural gas production should actually be able to go up soon. Victim compensation of nearly $4.4 billion. I'm going to give them $5 billion. At 5.04 when I only gave them exactly $5 billion. Whatever.
I'm gonna give increased space budget, space program budget, insight, interior exploration. I'm gonna give them some more money. That'd probably be a good idea. Yeah, that's good. Whatever.
Repatriation Belgium complete. Lawn reductions for using renewable energies. Hell yeah.
Who usually gets onto Mars first? Like has a man on Mars.
I've never really actually gotten to where someone got on Mars first.
Oh, okay.
The United States is most likely the one to get there first, unless because I mean this one is scheduled. Journey to Mars, 2031. I am going to schedule that for 2022. Okay, 2023. Usually you can get on there like, come on, around the same time as the Space Y company or something.
I kind of want to privatize some things. You know what we should do after we're done playing PNR, and we still, if you still are up for streaming, we should do some like political talk and like debates and like political tests and stuff like that.
Probably. I'm gonna give an additional $15 billion to the Journey to Mars mission.
Do you think that the country Niger actually knows and understands their name in English? Do you think they actually understand to the fullest, like the leadership and stuff? Do you think they actually like know what it means?
Leadership of what?
Niger, the country in Africa. Niger, not Nigeria, but Niger.
Yeah, I mean I know where Niger is, but what are you talking about them?
Do you think they even know anything about what that word with another G means in the U.S.?
Well, yeah, of course. I mean that word's used in France.
Yeah, but in Africa, like a slur for a black person is usually like completely different.
Well, yeah, that's in South Africa.
Yeah.
Which honestly, I've never really done a lot of research on that word. I wouldn't say it on Livestream, since I mean I know that is an extremely sensitive word to South Africans.
Yeah. Right. That is true.
Oh, speaking of AIDS, I need to go to Health and Social Security.
Speaking of AIDS.
I know, right? 8 billion.
Nigerian prince literally says we should give every American AIDS.
I'm like, speaking of AIDS.
Oh god, that's got to go into a meme compilation. Speaking of AIDS.
Compilation? What the hell?
Compilation.
Well,
so many
I mean, it's because whenever he said AIDS, I was like, oh, speaking of AIDS, I wanted to fund the living hell out of AIDS. And
more
cancer.
People have cancer than AIDS. Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and increase the tax on what is it?
I wish there was a way you could tell how much murders there are and like, you know, see what Chicago's going through in the game and like all
Well, I mean, there's a general murder rate.
Oh, there is? Where's that? I'm looking right now. Is it in the police area?
Yeah, hang on. Police.
Oh, okay.
Crime
Crime rate,
rates,
homicide.
violent deaths. Yeah, crime rates is a homicide per 100,000, and then there's violent deaths per 1,000. Ban Chicago, someone said.
Yeah, we should.
So edgy.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm gonna say right now, like, and it's not anything racist. Don't worry, I'm not going to. I'm not a racist person. It's just memes that I say. Anyways, but at this point in time, there's not really much you can do about Chicago other than just acknowledging that it's a part of their culture at this point. Because it's just like, most people don't have fathers in Chicago. I'm not implying any race, I'm just saying, fact. But like, not a lot of people have that. They don't have, money. They don't got any of that. They don't have jobs anymore in Detroit. So would you think that it's just more of a culture thing at this point?
Hmm.
You don't know?
I don't know, honestly. I'm not going to say it's a culture thing. I think, I think, it's more of politicians ignoring what's going on and wanting to focus on other things rather than actually trying to get to the bottom of the problem and trying to say, okay, so we need to like fix this problem that's happening in Chicago, Detroit, and stuff like that. People would rather play politics than actually try to fix the problem. I don't think it's more of a culture thing. I think it's more of a political bipolarization problem.
Which, if you think about it, that could also fall under the term of culture because they get so influenced by politicians making them feel that, like banning guns would solve their crime
Yeah, I
issue.
mean, like they would rather like make short-term things instead of funding like research and stuff like that to actually try to solve the problem.
Exactly. Because, I mean, Australia, they ban guns. They still have mass shootings. I
Yeah,
mean,
I
the
mean,
last time they had a mass shooting
like
was
they said,
2000 and something.
yeah. Well, I mean, I think it was in 2000.
Oh, 2000 exactly? Because I know there was family murders that have happened in Australia with guns.
No, there was like this mass shooting, and then they got rid, and then like they got rid of uh like over 1 million guns or something like that, but that barely even budged the crime rate in Australia.
Exactly.
But people like to look at it as, oh yeah, well they did this, so like this is like how good Australia is. They like to look at those kind of things, but they don't look at the statistics of what happened immediately after and the years following that policy of getting rid of all of your guns.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying, oh yeah, well, like governments want to get rid of your guns so they can take you over and like eat your ass and stuff like that. Like, I mean, it's it's more of it's more of like a thing trying to say, well, we can solve this problem by doing A, while B is more of like, oh yeah, well, we're not going to do anything.
Right.
I don't know. It's people like to try to solve their problems immediately instead of actually trying to say, okay, well, if we do this, then this is going to happen, and then if we do this, this is going to be a better option because it's actually going to stop.
Mm-hmm.
So I would probably have to disagree on saying that it's a culture problem. I'm not gonna say like, because I mean, Detroit and Chicago, especially South Chicago, are pretty. I almost said overrun. That would have been stupid of me to say. They're pretty black in population. I think there's more. I believe there is more black people in these cities than white people, and people like to look at it and yeah, I know, and people like to look at it as in people like to look at it as in, well, black people are lazy, stuff like that. But instead of looking at it as in it's actually just the politicians and not black people themselves.
Yeah. Oh fuck.
And there's like an 89% risk of my things failing. My mission to Mars.
Jeez.
Hey,
That's a large one.
my high-speed train from Dallas to Houston actually completed.
Nice.
Oh,
Damn,
I mean,
your fast forward thing is actually pretty damn fast. Oh, you're just pressing day over and over again.
no, I'm not.
Okay.
That was actually I was
Oh, you're
actually on
not?
fast forward.
The bill has been
Oh,
voted on.
okay.
The competition.
Okay, so I think the income tax just passed. This is good. This is good. You guys have any suggestions?
What are you saying? You're cutting out.
What I should
You're cutting out like really bad.
the income tax?
Hang on. Leave and join the call again. Yeah, your connection is like dropping out really, really bad. I don't know why this train is going while... this train is going while the whole thing is under construction. Are you there? Dude, hey.
God, geez.
Hey.
Yo.
Your connection is shit.
Yeah, I really don't know why. I think, yeah. Okay, so I know what I'm gonna do.
What?
I think it has to do with me on the Google Chrome. So I'm not gonna be able to read anybody's things. So I'm just gonna be like in the game.
Okay.
Um,
I mean, if someone like makes any interesting points or something like that, then I'll say it to you anyway.
Many people
Alright,
are
cool,
left
cool.
in the street.
But what I was gonna say is like somebody said something about crime and stuff, and I was just gonna say that I mean most crime committed in the U.S. is nonviolent crime that is related to drug
Yeah, and
charges
people
and
always like
things.
to point out, and they always say, well, like like I hear this point like repeated over and over and over again. It's like, well, their population is 13% black and they're committing 50% of the crime. Like, although that is true. Well, actually, I don't. Actually, I'm not even gonna say it's true because I don't even know where those numbers are coming from. Like, it kind of depends on what you're looking at
It was
and
from
what
the
kind of.
FBI Uniform Crime Report.
Yeah, but I mean, I think those numbers were probably from like 2013 or something. Like,
Yeah, they were. I don't really think personally that it's because I mean you got to remember that the U.S.
because people like to say stuff like that, as in like they use it to promote, well, black people are useless and like they shouldn't be in the United States, stuff like that. Like that's how they try to spin it as. It's saying, "Oh yeah, well they commit 50% of the crime, so we don't need black people anymore." So it's like it's kind of a retarded point because it doesn't make any sense. You're only spinning it as in, okay, well, I don't like black people because they commit 50% of the crime.
Right.
But how does it affect you that, yeah, I mean, they're committing 50% of the crime, but how does it affect you personally unless you are one of those victims of that crime? Whenever most of these people just say it as in, like, they saw Black Lives Matter on the TV or something like that.
True. I mean, yeah, I would have to agree because I mean, it is it. I mean, if 20% of minorities, like they say, commit 50%, then we all know that the rest are obviously the majority, which is white, that commit 50%. Because I mean, it's 50-50. So really, it doesn't really matter if they say something like that. You know, because it's just like, okay, but then the majority commits the rest of the 50%.
They'll just build a trainway between Boston and Montreal.
You have to get approval from Canada before doing that or something, or
Yeah,
are you just allowed to do that?
you have to allow it, but I funded like 100% of the trainway because usually they don't like to accept it.
Oh, okay.
Otherwise, I'm literally paying for like more than 90% of the train. Project refused. God damn it. Because it stops in one or several countries deemed unsuitable. It's only 2 countries. Whatever, Canada. Are you in favor of abolishing ICE in the United States? Many Democrats believe in this. I don't, to be honest, but I'm curious on what you think. I'm gonna let you say this first. I'm gonna let you respond first, and then I guess I'll go ahead and give my point afterward.
Okay. You know, I'm for limiting the government a lot because I'm a classical liberal. Most of you probably don't like liberals because you think that they're all, you know.
Yeah, classical liberal and neoliberal completely different from liberal. So.
Yeah, exactly. So basically, I want to limit the government, but at the same time, I think ICE has a good purpose. But I would rather have ICE over ATF. That's all I have to say. All that I have to say.
ATF and ICE are completely different, though.
Yeah, I know. I was just saying I'd rather have ICE over ATF is what I'm trying to say. So like really I don't have a opinion over it. I think ICE has a purpose, but at the same time I don't know. I mean ICE is almost like the EPA because they can make their own.
Oh my god, I have over 1 million black people in the streets right now.
Oh, you do? That's
yeah.
Not good. It's probably gonna turn out like the what's it called?
Oh my god.
LA.
There's a crap load of people out in protest right now.
Hopefully the roof Koreans will help you out.
So I'm gonna go ahead and give my point, since I mean, you know, there's literally like nearly 2 million people in protest right now. And there's a riot happening in Washington.
Give your point, you fool.
So my... Alright, I'm gonna give the military to order to attack. My point is that, I believe that... I don't think ICE is doing anything wrong right now. Because, I think, if you cross the border, then you should be punished. I think you should be, like, you shouldn't expect that you're going to stay in a 5-star hotel. I think people saying that these people are being kept in cages is an exaggeration, because they're not being kept in cages. Because, people are really quick to try to say, oh yeah, well, this is horrible, blah, blah, blah. And especially the media, and the media tries to spin it as, well, like, dude, we're literally keeping kids in concentration camps and stuff like that whenever we're not. These camps that we're keeping them in are just, like, temporary deportation camps so we can, like, prepare to deport these people after vetting them, and then plus, I mean, we're still giving them the option to actually, like, have their case be heard. Yeah, I mean, there's actually, like, a picture that was, of a kid that was in, like, maybe, like a 10-foot by 10-foot cage. And it was a literal cage. And that was taken in 2014 under the Obama administration. and there was no outlash, there was no anything that was saying, why are we doing this to kids? Oh my god. Because the media didn't want to make Obama look like a bad guy. They didn't want the Democrats to lose in the 2014 midterms, stuff like that. Like, I think it's complete bull.
Yeah, I totally agree with you.
We have subdued the
Demonstrators are marching in several cities all over the country as we speak.
Is the picture real, though? Yes, it actually was real. I did research on it. I believe I'm pretty, like, 85% certain that it was real.
It was.
Obama deported more people, oof. But that doesn't exactly matter. That's literally like saying, like, Hitler killed more Jews, but, you know, the crime is still happening. But in my own opinion, I believe that a country should have the right to enforce its laws and its borders. And if people do that, I mean, Canada has stricter immigration laws. If you break, like, any law, or actually if you don't pay, like, your tax for coming into the country or something like that, like, they will never let you in the country again, and they're going to make sure that you're not going to be allowed in the country again. I know several people that are banned from ever going into Canada again because they didn't pay their tax, their border tax or whatever it was. So it's kind of stupid that people are always, like, really selective and stuff like that. That's why I always try to That's why, like, whenever I look into something, I always try to make sure that I am looking at every single possible thing, because I don't want to, like, be looking at something and say, "Oh yeah, well, like, they're doing this, they're doing that," and without knowing the entirety of the full story, you know? Hey, look at that. I'm now producing 30.16% of the world's natural gas.
That's pretty damn big.
Yeah, I know. I'm really, really close to being self-sufficient in natural gas right now.
I'm gonna actually start doing that.
Yeah, developing your oil and natural gas is actually really, really useful. I mean, investing in non-conventional natural gas is actually, like, worth the investment, because it actually helps out your natural gas production. The only thing is that you can't export it, I think. Let me see if I can actually export natural gas to France.
Gas wells.
Yeah, I guess I'm pretty... I don't know what my original starting natural gas production was, if it was 1.1 billion tow. Mexico needs some self-improvement. Export to Jesus Christ. Okay, so I'm actually going to go over here. I'm going to go to world production, energy. I'm going to go to natural gas. Let's see if I actually... Yeah.
Where's some good areas for natural gas to be?
In the United States?
Yeah.
Texas, Wyoming, Colorado.
I keep looking for a place in Texas. It's like very weak, very weak, very weak.
Are you looking like shale, or are you looking like conventional?
Conventional.
You're not going to find anything with that. I'm actually doing investments in non-conventional. I'm doing shale.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna do that then.
I had 41 million tow in the beginning of the game, and now I have 249 million tow of natural gas.
Damn. That is a lot.
Hey, what's going on, Franklin Strong? Welcome to the live stream. I also want to remind everyone, go ahead and leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new. I will actually probably be making like a USA series soon. And I'm actually going to, I am actually doing these live streams very, very often, and you guys will, you should get, blah, I cannot talk today. You guys should obviously expect, more of these live streams and stuff like that if you guys like Power and Revolution content. And I will be getting to you guys very, very soon about the next update once EverSim actually gets back to me. So guys, go ahead and leave a like, subscribe to the channel. Super chats are obviously appreciated. Go to my Patreon and support me on Patreon. And that's about it. I just wanted to go ahead and give you guys a quick reminder of that. I usually don't like it whenever people like to say like, "Well, go to my Patreon every 10 minutes." Like in a live stream, I watch some of those people, and it just annoys the living hell out of me. So I just only I say it like once, and then I'm done. Are there really 4 dislikes and 4 likes? What the hell?
Yeah, I don't know why there is. It's weird.
Whatever.
It was probably Nigerian Prince. Hashtag blame Nigerian Prince, everybody.
Go to my Patreon now, boys.
Oh, my Patreon.
Hey guys, go to my Patreon. Please give me money.
Money.
933,000 people demonstrating in the streets against government's xenophobic attitude.
Good.
That's the most people I've actually seen without like a national crisis going on.
Hey, where's is...
You're cutting out again.
I said, is JJ Holmes still watching?
No, he actually hasn't been here since the beginning of the stream.
Oh.
I just built 20 prisons. I should join the International Criminal Court.
No, they're gonna get mad at you because you have the death penalty allowed. They
Determine a balance. They kick you out if you have the death penalty?
Yeah.
Propose a law to ban the death penalty.
No. You're gonna have an increase in crime probably. People are gonna be like, oh, I don't get to be executed now? Okay. Shoots my wife and my kids. Or even better, gets a plane and slams it into a house but only kills yourself.
I saw that. That was stupid. That was
such a meme.
That was the most retarded thing I have ever seen. Like, how can you not? Because apparently the wife and kids got out unscathed.
Yeah, they were perfectly fine. They never even had a scrape on them.
I was like,
wow.
I was like, are you completely retarded? Like, what?
How did that guy know exactly he was going right into his house? Like, planes go fast, and he stole the plane, so he doesn't even know the controls 100% on that plane. So, I mean,
God bless to the other guy that, like,
the guy who killed himself.
The guy in Washington.
Yeah. Dude played video games.
That guy sounded so sad. Like that was the most depressing thing I've ever listened to.
I know, right?
Ow, my throat.
Like, yeah, I just got a few screws loose, you know, nothing much. Just do. He's like, can you guys give me a job if I land this good? Like, what?
Damn, $31 billion if I dismantle 6,300 fossil energy plants.
Dude, it just seems like terrifying being up in the sky and having nobody to help you. Like, oh my god.
And then it's kind of funny because, or not funny, but he even mentions, he was like I never really had the plans of like putting this baby on the ground. So he literally did that just to kill himself, and oh my god, it's just so bad.
Yeah. Those two jets, though, were pretty fine, you know. Following behind him made me really, really, really moist.
Huh. Mr. Cheeky Monkey gave me a challenge of having the U.S. rely solely on nuclear power.
Oh, no.
Speaking of that, I need to... Oh, wait, no. I'm going to build a nuclear power plant. I hate having, like, a non-odd number. Because I had, like... I have, like, 59 nuclear power plants, and I just want to build one just to go out so I can go up to 60.
Oh, God.
Oh, I completely forgot to talk about this earlier, but, like, honestly, my whole thing on ICE and stuff like that, I think ICE maybe should change their tactics, but at the same time, I don't think that we need to abolish them. And if we do abolish them, there has to be, because people are just like wanting to abolish it because either A, they want votes, or B, like
they want votes.
Or they no, like it's like the people that are literally like screaming about getting ICE abolished and stuff like that. Like those people have no idea how to, like, what we need to do afterward. Or they just want, like, open borders and stuff like that. So that's why I'm not exactly, like, supportive of abolishing ICE. Because they don't have, like, an idea of what we should do afterward. How should we enforce the border laws? How should we enforce... Ouch. How should we enforce, what do you call it? Like, any immigration laws that we have.
Yeah. I think ICE is doing a perfect job, to be quite honest with you. I think
Yeah, I mean, I think they're doing a pretty good job, and I think it's being exaggerated on, like, them putting people in concentration camps and stuff like that. Like,
oh
it's completely stupid.
Yeah, I'm very for a strong border. I think, honestly, if you're born here, then you're pretty much the only person allowed to be a citizen.
What's your opinion on a birthright citizenship?
Oh, birthright citizenship?
Yeah, like being protected by the 14th Amendment.
Yeah, I'm...
Why don't we just repeal the 14th Amendment? What's wrong with that?
Yeah, man. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm kidding.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I can hear how awkward your yeah is. You're just like, yeah.
Yeah, good idea, man. No, honestly, like I'm for people who want to come here. They can come here and be immigrants, but I don't think they should be able to become citizens except for their kids that are born and naturalized here. That's about it. Because I think that they're going to become citizens, but they're not going to be fully adapted to the American culture and society. So I don't know.
First generation citizens are never actually going to be true American citizens? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Yeah. Even if they're Canadian, even if they're like British or something, you know, it's just, I think you have to be pretty much adapted.
Speaking of British, what is your opinion on white people losing their majority by 2045?
By 2045?
Yeah. Because white people are projected to not be the majority anymore by 2045. Do you think that's a bad thing? Do you think that's a good thing? Do you think that, like, like, it should just take its course? Because, I mean, there's an argument saying, well, white people built this country. And then there's an argument saying that, like, white people have always been, like the majority and we need a new majority, stuff like that. What do you think?
You know, I guess I could say that they have a point when they say that the whites should be the majority, and I think honestly, like, you know, it's up to that country. I don't think it really matters to me personally, as long as if there's no crime and everything. I still think Europe is for Europeans, but I don't mind, say, like, you know, Black Americans becoming the majority in like 30 years or something, because America, I mean, we didn't it was founded by white people, but it was also helped by all different types of cultures that came together to form one culture in the US. So, per se, white people in the UK, that's kind of tough because UK was always originated by white Europeans. So, to say, I don't know, it's a confusing matter because I mean, Americans, we don't really care unless if you're a white, you know, nationalist or white supremacist. We don't care if there's black people that become the majority in the US. But when it comes to Europe, that's a little different story, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. What is your opinion on that?
Hard question. And before I actually do that, I'm actually going to I'm gonna save this real quick, just in case my game bugs out. And I was actually gonna put a way for people on here to actually, like, other than Discord, because I actually created a what do you call it? Instagram. So I'm actually gonna post my Instagram into the description of the video in a second. So Instagram, let's go here. I'm doing this all while live streaming. It's kind of funny.
You want to do some stuff on like Google Chrome, like look at some political stuff on there?
I could probably have like a CNN pulled up or something like that, and um, read off like some of the stories while I'm playing the game, I guess.
All right.
All right, I'm gonna post my Instagram on the description of the video. So if you guys want to contact me on Instagram, there is a private messaging feature, and if you guys want to contact me through there, well, hang on. Then yeah, go ahead and contact me via Instagram. Send all to Iran. Or Syria, what? Let me see if I can actually build another oil platform. This is something that I think Trump would probably do, is by expanding offshore oil drilling. You having fun typing there, boy?
Yeah. All right. I sent you something. You should change the title of the video so that we can get people to join the live stream if they see something like political review or political talk or something. And then I put like insert whatever you want to add after that for the title. So like if you wanted to write something like because you wrote something about the EverSim collab or whatever.
But I mean, that barely even.
True.
Here, I can just. Typing intensifies. All right, I changed it to political talk and gameplay.
Okay, that's good. YouTube. Now that I'm leaving PNR, I could probably be able to speak to the viewers.
PG, can we see some skin? No.
Come on, man. Show them a little skin. Like, there's nothing wrong with that.
Shut up.
And
I'm gonna I'm gonna build 10 more shale gas. I have a goal of like just having at least 40 shale gas.
Let's quit the program. All right.
Yeah, quit the program.
Politics gaming. Wow, your live stream has not popped up. You're shadow banned. I'm just kidding.
On what?
I'm joking. I was gonna say you're shadow banned on YouTube because your thing didn't pop up.
Really?
Or, Alex joining you. Nah, your channel popped up. Don't worry.
I'd figure that
episode.
Huh?
I remember your Iran episode, the inflation.
Jesus Christ, don't even give me that.
Dude, the flashbacks, the inflation attack. Rip. Challenge: make gold a #1 industry in your country. It is possible, I'm sure.
I doubt it. I mean, I know how I can actually get uranium to actually be like produce like all of the world's uranium or something like that. I think in a game right now that I have is like I'm actually producing like a crop ton of it.
Uranium.
Uranium fever is gonna let me down. Uranium fever is gone and gone around. All right, you guys heard it here first. PG singing. I want to kill myself. I'm actually literally running out of areas that I can actually build shale oil and gas in.
You increase production of gold. I've managed that. It's getting big. I'm paying as me. Oh, okay.
I'll go to that once I'm done building all of these shale gas wells. I'll do it in a second.
Oh, fuck.
I'm just trying to find different states where I can actually... Okay, so I have 35 wells. I have 15 now, so I just, built, a ton of them. I'm gonna have a crap load of production in about 30 days.
Let's see. Father of a Benghazi.
Speaking of Benghazi, what do you think of Benghazi? The whole thing.
Ugh. Those days were horrible.
I know. Do you think that Hillary Clinton should have that held against her?
I'm probably gonna get a lot of hate for this, but honestly,
No, I mean, I'm probably thinking the same exact thing.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's just kind of a waste of time and anger to spew out at this moment in time, because Hillary, she's just, honestly, let's admit it, she's a meme now. She's lost 2 elections. She lost it to Obama, who had basically no experience in the political world except for 1 term of being a senator, or was it a governor?
He was a senator from Illinois.
Yeah, and then which did nothing to Chicago, keep in mind. Which then again, he is federal, so I mean, I understand that. But then if you remember,
yeah, I was about to say, he was a federal statesman, not statesman. He was a senator for
6 months.
6 months? I'm gonna look that up.
Leo said that.
Yeah, Leo said that, but I don't know.
And then she lost to Donald Trump, who never had the...
No. He was senator way longer than 6 months. I know this because I remember doing...
Or 2.
Yeah, he was elected in 2004.
2008.
No, he was elected senator of Illinois in 2004.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I remember watching a CNN, an entire broadcast. Not whenever it happened, but on YouTube, they have an entire broadcast of the coverage of elections and stuff like that. And I remember watching this one moment from a CNN interview on with Wolf Blitzer. They actually had Obama on after he won his election in Illinois, and they actually did like this whole thing like, well, you know, this happened, blah blah blah, and then Wolf Blitzer, I remember him asking like, well, what do you think about being one of the only black senators in the U.S. Senate now? So yeah, I mean, whenever he said like 6 months, I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. That's wrong.
He hadn't even been a senator.
He was an Illinois senator from 1997 to 2004, and then he was inaugurated in 2005 for the federal Senate, and then inaugurated as the 44th President of the United States on January 20th, 2009.
Yeah, Hillary's just a meme, let's be honest. I mean, just, lost an election to Obama in the primaries, keep in mind.
Yeah, Leo, I'm just saying this right now. Whenever you say stuff like that, make sure you know how to back it up. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but just make sure whenever you make a claim, you can at least confirm where you're hearing that information. Meadows Rock Shelter? What the hell is that? What were you saying before I interrupted you?
Yeah, the China propaganda is getting to you. Man.
The rebels have stopped fighting.
Oh no, I don't. Wait, what? I said something. I don't even know.
For the moment.
Do you guys think feminism is needed in the U.S.?
Third wave feminism? No. I don't even think it's feminism anymore. I think it's starting to latch off into stuff like
sexism.
Not sexism. It's latching off into stuff such as like trans protection,
True.
Stuff like that. It's starting to latch off into stuff that's not even about feminism, but they're trying to expand the definition of feminism. Urban violence in the streets. 5 dead on both sides. What?
I say liberty. Liberty is way more important than equality. And equality is essentially almost like feminism, but feminism is the advocacy for women's rights. So, I mean, in a way, I guess it is equality, but liberty is obviously, in my opinion, way more important than equality. Because if you have liberty, you have equality. I don't mind trans protection, to be honest, but we don't. But we need to have a common sense debate with this.
Yeah, I mean, people look at stuff way on more of a emotional standpoint instead of a standpoint of how we need to deal with stuff. So I think a true definition of common sense debate would be basically saying, like, we need to not look at this in an emotional way, but into a policy making way. Oh yeah, pink tax. What do you think of that?
It's complete bullshit. I mean, it's just so bullshit. Like, there was a girl that was saying, like, oh yeah, this is stuff for, like, this is ibuprofen for, like, cramps for your period, and this is this, and it has the same stuff, and then it literally showed the same milligram for ibuprofen, but then it showed other ingredients that for, like, women vitamins and stuff. And I'm just sitting here, I'm like, that's why it costs more, you dumb freak. Like, I want to say something, but I can't. So, like, I'm just gonna say, you dumb freak. Like, it's goddamn, like, it's just so obvious. You're showing two different medicines that have, one has just the ibuprofen, the other has same amount of ibuprofen in milligrams, but it has a lot of other things. I mean, obviously it's gonna cost more money. Male tax is sexist. Yes, any tax based on a gender, and keep in mind, I believe there is two genders.
Wow, edgy.
I know, so edgy, bro. I am in support of LGBT rights. I'm pretty much a classical liberal / libertarian kind of thing when it comes to social issues. So if you want to be transgender, that's on you. You do it. But I honestly think that what they're doing, like with Sweden and stuff, like there was a I don't know if you guys seen this, but it was a documentary on like transgender kids in Sweden, and I was just sitting here like, I mean, the dad, which was Mapa, they called him, you know, like instead of Papa or Mama, it was just Mapa, and like he would ask the 4-year-old like every single day, what do you want to be called today? Do you want to be called like um he, she, or they, or and then there was like this other thing that Swedish people call them if they don't identify as anything. And I'm just like, I mean, she's 4 years old. Give it some time. I mean, like, god damn.
I don't know.
It's kind of, I mean, it's just kind of messed up to. I don't know, because I mean, I don't think that LGBT is like a choice. I think it's something you're born with. Because I don't believe there's like, wait, what?
My whole thing about that whole thing, whenever people always say, like, ooh, I just got issued $10.5 billion worth of that. But whenever people always say, well, I believe there's two genders, one of the main problems, and I think this is also contributing this to like polarization and stuff like that, is whenever people try to troll people like that and say, well, like, I identify as an attack helicopter, or I identify as a cell phone or a bottled cup. Like, I think that's the most retarded thing that people can do, is instead of actually trying to have a solid debate with someone, all they do is just make fun of them, and then they just say, like, the only points they ever bring up is like I believe there's two genders. Like, there's only two genders, you retard, blah, blah, blah. That's all they ever bring up. Like, it's, you can't really have a debate if you're not going to at least contribute to the conversation. Instead, you're just going to sit there and say, like, things that they think by trying to make fun of them.
Like, yeah, it's regressive on both sides. I mean, the regressive left and the regressive right going at it with each other, acting like 2-year-olds debating.
Yeah, I mean, it's stupid because, I mean, I know several people who do that, and they always, and like, it's ignorant on them, honestly, because all they're sitting there doing is saying, well, I mean, you know, I think that since you're a woman, you're black or something like that. Like, they make the most retarded points, and it's just stupid.
Yeah, they definitely do. It's because the left, they used to, I mean, they still do to this day, and in fact, it's getting very increasing due to the fact that, but like, you know, it started with like the left, and then the right kind of got onto it, and then they were just like doing the same thing, and it's just kind of annoying at this point.
Yeah, the left started to do it, and then the right started to do it because they wanted to make fun of them.
Yeah. And it's because the left wouldn't debate them, and they would just, you know, shame upon the right, and then the right would try to, you know, debate them, and then they gave up. And I'm like, you shouldn't give up. You should make the other side look stupid, the left. And I mean, they still do make them look stupid.
Well, they make them look stupid by acting autistic.
Yeah, exactly. But well, not like that. I mean, that just makes them look immature for both sides to act autistic like that, you know. I think you can be born gay, because I don't think you wake up the next morning and say, you know what, I'm gonna like the penis, and then you just go over to this neighbor of yours, and then you go and you do the thing with him, you know.
Yeah, I think you're probably born gay. Like, I don't think there's specifically a gay gene, but yeah. I think, like, you are at least, like, you're naturally inclined to like another gender.
Yeah.
Whoa. 61% of the country says they want to vote for me.
And a lot of things that is pretty immature on people's side is that if you try to play around with a friend that's the same gender as you and you just make a joke with them that is considered homosexual, they instantly assume that you are gay, and then they'll just like talk smack about it, and then like, dude, it's just, come on now, it's a joke. Homosexuality is a mental condition? No, no, it's not.
It's
Because
not.
otherwise, animals that are homosexual, because there are animals that are homosexual, they wouldn't, I mean, like, come on now.
And stuff like that, I also think I don't believe that people actually believe in that. I think they just do that to try and be ironic.
Yeah.
To try and be edgy and stuff like that. And that's another thing that really annoys me is whenever people try to act edgy, it goes against them. Governor of West Virginia, what? Governor of West Virginia just, like, is revolting in the Capitol right now.
That is weird.
I know.
Are you gonna be gunning them down or something?
I usually send in the military because it's easier, and they always get spooked away because sometimes you don't even have the materials to do it.
Oh.
West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home, country road. I don't know. I'm gonna, like, cut off West Virginia from any funding now.
You can do that?
The main goal in life is to reproduce.
Yeah, and I mean, you do realize that gay people don't even make up 5% of the country. So
Yeah.
Um,
but at the same time, that's another thing about stuff like homosexuality and stuff like that. It doesn't affect you. And
exactly.
it doesn't affect you personally. Like me, like, if some guy wants to go, like, suck off some other dude, like, it doesn't hurt me. It doesn't hurt me personally. I personally don't think it's a bad thing, but per se, if I disagreed with it and, like, I was against gay people and stuff like that, it doesn't affect me personally. So there's no reason to. Okay, you can have your reasons to be against it. I'm not saying you shouldn't be against it. I think people should make up their own mind freely. If you don't want to be supportive of something, don't be supportive of it. If you want to be supportive of something, be supportive of it. But,
that's exactly what I was gonna say, Cheeky, is like, even if it does have an effect on reproduction, even though it doesn't currently, because if less than 2% of the US population is gay, like actively gay or something, like that does gay, like has gay sex, I don't think it's gonna do much. But even if it had an effect, it would slow population and growth down, and we wouldn't be like China that has billions of people. I'm hypothetically speaking right now, of course. I don't like when homosexuals run around in the street with their shirts off and say I'm gay, I'm denying it.
well,
wait, what?
I think he's talking about pride parades, because I have actually been to pride parades before.
Yeah.
They're not the best thing, and I think pride parades are the most retarded thing. Like,
yeah,
because I mean, it's just like literally like flopping a dildo around and saying, "Well, I'm gay." Like,
yeah, but he said I'm gay.
but you have the choice to go to a pride parade. You don't have to go to a pride parade. It's not state mandated.
Yeah, exactly. Pride parades annoy me, to be honest. Some anyway, they dance I don't know how they. I mean, if that'd be public indecency
No, because I've gone to a Pride parade and I was like really young whenever I went,
Kids.
and that's what I saw.
Then that would be implying you personally took the chance and the choice as somebody who's young, or your parents allowed you, or So
I
really,
think
it
I
doesn't.
think parents shouldn't force their kids to go. I think they should at least take into consideration what they will see.
Uh huh. What are your parents personally like? What are they like politically? Rather, are they like more
I have
Democrats,
one
or are
that's
they?
really politically neutral that doesn't really care about politics except whenever like it just comes up. And then the
Uh
other
huh.
one is super super liberal.
Oh, okay. So then, how did you end up becoming center right?
One of them I just kind of agreed with the other one because I was super super for Bernie Sanders whenever the primaries were happening. And after some like consideration from like a friend who was telling me about Donald Trump and stuff like that, um, I really started to look into um, I really started looking into like the GOP, conservatism, and Donald Trump especially. And
Uh-huh.
I just kind of naturally went over because I feel like my views aligned more with the right, but I stay center because I'm more of a social because I'm socially liberal, but I'm fiscally conservative. Because I mean, I don't believe we need to like give everyone free healthcare, stuff like that. I think we need to fix our uh healthcare system to a point to where we don't have to pay like $500,000 for a broken arm. But I'm not all
That's the
about
confusing thing, though. How would we do that? That's what confuses
that's a
me.
confusing thing, yes, and I honestly don't know, but I think that like the private market and the government need to get together and at least reach a consensus
Uh huh. Without doing too much
without
government
doing too much
manipulation.
government intervention.
Yeah, I agree. I totally would be down for that. But I'm like, when it comes to healthcare, I would love to have ambulances still privatized. I don't really, I don't know, because I feel like if we already pay so much for an ambulance, right? Can we almost imagine that how much it would be if, let's say, it was public? Because obviously taxes would rise. I just can't imagine how much that would go up, considering
Yeah, because I
we.
mean I saw this thing by Jake Tapper. Um I read that LGBT people can't be sexist. Well, don't believe that because everyone can be sexist and racist.
Exactly.
But
Yeah.
like I saw this thing that oh, come on, I just completely forgot what I was going to say. Oh, no, no, no. It was about like Bernie Sanders' plan. Have you ever heard of that?
Wait, what?
Bernie Sanders' Medicare for All plan?
Oh yeah, yeah. Uh huh.
Like what I saw is that um Jake Tapper like had a fact check on that, and Jake Tapper's from CNN, and like he said there was a thing that said like Medicare for all would save the U.S. like $2 or $3 trillion out of a $30 trillion price tag, and Jake Tapper said that the whole thing would like there's there's like numbers that range from it saving the United States to like $1 to $2 trillion, but there's also other things saying that like it would raise healthcare costs for the federal government. So in total, like I mean that's another reason why I'm really really not wanting to join up on the Democrats right now, because they're pushing for things that would bankrupt the United States, and I'm just not going to support something like that.
Right. I would definitely not do that either because I mean, either. Um, yeah, that's just the Democrats. They're definitely not. They're definitely not that good of a party at this moment. In fact, they used to be pretty damn good during JFK. Um, well, towards the end of JFK, of course, but I don't know. The Democrat Party has become so just corrupt. I think. Well, not corrupt, but it
Not
just
corrupt,
became
but
so.
they're going way too
So,
left.
yeah, they're going way too left. But like, what's the word? They're going beyond their
Beyond their ideology.
yeah, they're basically just screwing up the people who originally joined them because they're, centrist, and that's what the Democrats were. They were centrist, and if you were a Republican, you were basically either there was factions for centrist, kind of, center right leaning people, but the Republicans they were conservatives and stuff, and of course, that's changed because now it's just the Democrats are just ugh.
Democrats supported the KKK years ago. That doesn't even matter though. Like people always love to say
that was years ago.
People always love to say like, "Oh yeah, well, the Democrats did this like 2 years ago, like 40 years ago, something like that." It doesn't matter. Like they're not doing it now. What does it matter if they do it like if they were doing it now, it would be a completely different subject, but like they're not doing it now, so that argument is invalid.
Right. That's true, and even then, that was mostly the Dixiecrat Party, which was a party that got a couple seats in the Senate and the House, I think. But that was in like the late '60s, and that was about it. Hold on, my parents left the fridge open, so it's beeping like crazy. I'll be right back, guys. Sorry. Do you like my Discord pic, by the way, PG?
Yeah, shut up.
I know. I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying, do you like it?
I already saw
Pretty
it.
good. Yeah, it's pretty nice. Really nice.
Ooh, I got 11% in approval. Income tax, things are looking up.
We encourage you to pursue your policy of reducing income tax, which is having a highly positive effect on global.
Do you think some Democrats that supported the KKK are still in the Democratic Party? I don't know. I know, like, Robert Byrd, people usually like to talk about Robert Byrd and stuff like that, but I mean, even, like, what they don't tell you is that he actually came out and said that, like, I was ignorant, my views were ignorant, and I'm sorry. Like, I think people are allowed to change, and I think people try to use it to a point to where it benefits their argument and not to what it's looking at right now. Waiting for this. Wait. Oh, crap. Seriously? Right before the election? Race riots, whatever. Alright, so... Hispanics riot. I'm gonna send these guys, like, right in. Just to end this riot as quickly as possible. Come on, no. Okay. So I'm gonna go through here. I'm about to see my midterm results. So we should actually have the results by tomorrow. Keeps making the riots happen in DC when they usually happen in Baltimore, LA, and etc. Well, I mean, I've seen riots happen in other cities. I think usually They just like to happen in the capital. Alright, so I am now a day from my midterm election.
Charlottesville was a meme.
Why?
Because both sides were just completely stupid, and then the left got all mad because Trump said that both sides were stupid. And I'm just like, it's true. I mean, the left incited a lot of rioting, so I mean... But then the right also did a lot of bad things, too. I'm from the, where is Charlottesville? It's in, Virginia.
It's in Virginia.
Yeah, that's a
oh, sweet! I got 66% of the vote.
Oh damn! Yeah, it's like it's southern. Yeah, it's a southern state, but it's more central eastern. But it was in the Confederate States.
And go.
Yeah, you should do a Libertarian Party gameplay.
Really?
Try to win.
Try to win the next elections. Oh my god.
They need to make it so it's extremely hard for them to win like it is.
I'd literally be promising the same things that Republicans would be proposing. It'd be awesome if you can actually show support for the U.S. Green Party, congratulating them. It would be easy if a third party gets more seats than even in real life. It happened in my party. I wasn't even the Libertarians. What the hell did you even do?
What party are you in real life, PG?
Well, I'm not registered for any party. The state of Texas doesn't have you register for a certain party.
Oh, okay.
Damn. Libertarians got 10% of the vote in some places.
Yeah, a lot of them. Jesus.
Libertarians got 23% of the clergy. They actually came in second place, and then plus they got 24% of the sect vote.
Damn.
It's a electoral map. Maine and New Hampshire voted Republican, so I guess this is all the new senators and stuff like that.
UKIP is so dead right now. I feel bad for your party.
Okay, so this is the new makeup of the... What? Wait.
What happened? Oh my lord, you dominated that election.
The Senate, though, the Senate is the same.
I think that they think midterms. I think EverSim thinks that midterms.
No. They usually change.
Oh, they usually both change.
Yeah,
that is true. That is true.
62% turnout. I'm gonna go a couple of days to see if the Senate changes. Okay, my live stream is about to hit the 2-hour mark, so everyone watching right now should actually be prepared for the live stream to cut out. So if it does cut out, please do not leave. I did not end the live stream. I'm going to increase my interest rate to 2%.
What do Australians think of Trump? Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I think UKIP was actually really retarded whenever they literally thought that they could push for something like Brexit, and then automatically they just think that they can automatically back off and say, okay, you're on your own. Hang on, there's a terrorist attack about to happen. I have to find this guy. Browse sites with sexual content. What a guy. What a man.
Oh yeah, how do you up the surveillance thing again, so that there's more people to put on the surveillance?
More national agents.
Oh, okay. Jack, let's see. Oh god.
I cannot find this guy.
5%.
Let's cheat a little bit. Chuck Montday. Let's see. Bought a mini camera, proceeded with an arrest. I'm probably not going to be able to get this guy. It's probably going to be released. Oh, yep, I actually got him. Sometimes I've literally gotten the guy to get arrested, but like they literally release them and say, "Well, we haven't found anything on him."
UKIP should be pro-gun, to be honest with you, but they're not. There hasn't even been really much of anybody that's pro-gun in the UK anymore. I mean, you guys had a group like the NRA.
What was it?
I forgot what it was called, but it was like National Shooting Sports or something. Yeah, we are pro-gun. Oh, okay. Would you guys be for lifting the ban on handguns?
Good thing I'm not in the United Kingdom.
Exactly. It's ridiculous. I can't believe they actually have a fucking ban on handguns. It's
Numerical networks and infrastructures, urban transportation.
Funny how every single day there's somebody that uses a gun to protect themselves or somebody else in the U.S. compared to like every 3 days there's about 3 people shot, or I mean killed rather, by a gun.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's so much more people, way more, that are saved by guns and stuff than people that are, abolish House of Lords.
Abolish the House of Lords.
Dude, that would destroy the entire culture and tradition.
Okay. Okay, good. I was literally scared that I literally didn't make any gains in the Senate because it was still 51 to 49, but apparently I got 63% of the vote in the Senate. So I got 63 seats in the Senate.
Damn. That's pretty damn good.
The Green Party got... I mean, it would make sense that the Green Party would actually like get seats in this upcoming election. So they got like 2 seats, and then the Democrats lost. I have 287 seats in the Senate now.
Every time there's an election for me, like a midterm, I like the Green Party never wins seats. It's always the Libertarian instead.
I always get like
green. Yeah, you
green,
always do. I don't know.
Yeah, the Green Party and the Libertarians always get seats. Which, I mean, it's kind of interesting because, I mean, the third party is making so many gains like now that I think it makes a lot of sense. And I actually like that.
Yeah, you guys have moved away from like that type of culture of just having.
They want another elected chamber.
People. Yeah, the UK has moved away from like having absolute power within the monarchy and stuff. So I think it'd be a good idea that they continue that move on and have an elected chamber. Kind of how they, how UKIP wants more direct democracy kind of moves.
Mm-hmm.
That wouldn't be a bad idea. Oh my god, that's a lot of money. Holy shit.
What?
Rest in peace. 21.7 billion. Oh. Jeez.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at it right now. I'm trying to figure out.
Our governmental cell informs me that it has had the opportunity to approach this potential.
Alright, there we go.
Alright, we're back.
So, I hate it whenever it does that. I don't know why it always does that. I think that's just OBS. So they built a high-speed railway between Pittsburgh and Philadelphia. Apparently it's actually good for national tourism, which will benefit from this new infrastructure. So it's actually a decent construction. Because I really, really want to improve the high-speed railways that are like distributed throughout the United States.
Uh-huh.
Let me see what my natural gas, 7.4.
PG, do you allow them to know what your real name is?
I don't think I've said it before.
Okay, you could tell me then privately when you have a chance, because I've always wondered what that is. Because I don't want you to say something on live stream that you don't want to say, you know?
Usually just usually just personal stuff I usually like to stay away from.
Yeah, because you don't know if somebody's gonna get it. Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, someone's gonna like DDoS my ass or something like that.
DDoS? You mean docs? The preparation. No, I don't know how they would find out.
I call it DDoS.
IP address and stuff. Okay, fair enough.
I don't know. Jake,
Hanukkah.
end yourself. Jesus Christ. I've never seen
Donald Trump.
Black shirt. I've never ever really seen you in here. I don't even know where you're from.
Yeah.
All right, now my solar power is now contributing to 12.6% of my national electricity production.
The Jews love you because you went to Hanukkah, plus half of your entire family, you know, the Trump family, they're Jewish, so.
Jesus Christ.
You didn't know that?
The Jews in the game?
No, I'm just saying, like, in real life, you didn't know that, like, Trump is pretty much his entire family's Jewish.
And well, not his entire family. I mean, his stepson is.
Yeah, and his daughters.
Yeah, his daughter's married to him. I don't think that makes her a Jew, though.
True.
I like how Jews are actually noted as a religion in here. I wish Muslims were actually noted as a religion.
Yeah, that's true, because what? Islam's...
They actually need to fix... They actually need to do that and make Muslim... So you can actually, like, ban Islam.
Oh yeah, be that edgy UKipper. I'm kidding. They don't want to ban Islam. They just want to ban allowing refugees in.
Which APG turned California into a nuclear-powered state. Jesus Christ.
I would say that Cheeky's probably one of my favorite British people I know nowadays. Because honestly, a lot of British people are very ignorant when wanting to... Like, if you try to teach someone about how... Because they like to admit... I can't talk. They like to think that America is all about, like, just school shootings and stuff, which is completely false. I mean, there was only, like...
I don't like those people that literally judge, like, what America is and stuff like that just from what they hear from the news.
Exactly. I'm like, we barely actually even have school shootings. Like, they count school shootings as something that happened outside of a school, that, like, on the sidewalk or something.
Yeah, I saw that on CNN. I thought that was a stupidest thing because, I mean, no, they even noted that it was a BB gun fired inside of a school counted as a school shooting.
Exactly. I'm like, there's only been about 4 legitimate ones, because most of all the ones they said on CNN, they said, like, what, 14 since January? And then they said that when...
they said that there was, like, 21 school shootings since the beginning of the year, so that counted for, like 7 or, like, 1 school shooting each week.
Yeah, and oh yeah, that's true. That's true.
I thought it was the most retarded thing. I'm like...
Yes. Police should only have guns in schools. So then what happens if... Well,
I mean, we already have SROs and stuff like that.
Yeah. Those are school resource officers.
School resource officers.
But here's the issue, because, I mean, a lot of times they're not actually always at the school. Like, you know, always there, because maybe they might go get something for lunch. A lot of times, let's say there's only one of them. Some guy comes in, shoots that guy, boom, dead. Okay, now he's got a free-for-all. And...
PvP.
PvP, well, PvE to be exact.
Shut up.
You know, because, I mean, nobody's gonna fight him back because the teachers don't got anything. Which I don't really know. I mean, maybe some teachers, maybe I wouldn't mind, but that should be left up to the district.
Oh wow, Trade balance on building, housing, and roadway is actually under 1 trillion.
Negative. Let me see the aluminum. Go back to that.
Hang on. I'm gonna give building, housing, and roadway some subsidies.
Yeah, you need to do that.
Whenever, like, aluminum is actually, it's really easy to recover the trade balance on it because you actually make, I don't know where all this extra revenue came from, but aluminum is actually really easy. If you actually import bauxite, then you can actually, if you can actually import bauxite, then you can actually like fix aluminum really, really fast. Type.
Okay, yeah, I'm just gonna say it instead. Cheeky, he said, kids can much more extreme and let their emotions run wild. It's risky. Giving a gun to a kid preteen is irresponsible. TBH. Imagine a student having a gun in school, threatening teachers plus bullying. Yeah, I am totally. I can agree with that. But
you're assuming that like it's an American policy that we're literally giving guns to kids.
Yeah,
we don't give guns to kids. We literally teach them how to use a gun safely.
Yeah. I shot my first gun when I was 3 years old, but that's a part of like U.S. culture. I mean
it's kind of like a culture that like it's more of just kind of like it's not like a policy. It's just we're teaching them how to safely use a gun.
Yeah. We teach like in schools, like, well, like, depending on some schools you go to, they might teach you a little bit about like don't touch the gun, like get an adult, stuff like that.
Yeah, like we have this weird thing in schools where we're literally thinking that like going to get an adult whenever we see a gun like is the best course of action when it's not.
Yeah, exactly. I would probably I would just clear the chamber, then go get an adult, because I feel like the adults would be the dumb ones to make the.
Wait, clear the chamber? Are you saying like shoot it?
Yeah, no. You would
like get the magazine out.
The round in the chamber. Yeah, you do that first, and then you would cock it back, and then that would cause for the bullet to be removed from the chamber, but not like the eject. Not the.
I remember my father was actually teaching me how to use kind of like how to cock back it was like a 22 or something like that, and we like
22?
What?
A 10-22, like those Ruger rifles, or was it a handgun?
No, it was a rifle.
Oh, so yeah, it was most likely Ruger.
Well, it was actually one of the older models where you kind of like you pull it down and then cock it back up. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah,
And so whenever I was bolt action, and not whenever you like pull it back. I'm saying you pull it down. Lever. It's a lever action.
Lever action.
Lever action rifle.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was actually. My dad actually like was like cocking it back or something like that, teaching me how to shoot it and stuff like that. And so whenever he opened the chamber, there was like an entire clip in there, loaded. It was like cocked and ready to go.
Oh, I have to interrupt you, and then sorry, but look at what he just said. He said, "I'm very much pro-gun, by the way. I believe schools are a place of learning and should feel safe. I not feel safe if every student in my school had guns on hand."
Are you talking about like an elementary school or a college?
I'm so confused. Oh yeah, I think you're talking about college.
You have to be talking about college because.
Yeah, that's.
Well, I mean, I kind of get why you would want people on high school. Well, of course not high school. We're not talking about high school. Yeah.
You would get kicked. There's a no tolerance policy we have in the state.
Yeah.
If you bring a gun to school, you're going to jail.
You're talking about like underage kids. Okay, I'm actually gonna have to pause the game here right now just to kind of explain what am I thinking on this is. High school, you're like a prepubescent, not prepubescent, but you're like a kid that's just still learning and stuff like that. And in the United States, there's a zero tolerance policy in high schools because, I mean, these are underage kids that have weapons. We're not going to have underage kids walking throughout high school with weapons. However, whenever you're talking about university and college and stuff like that, of course, I mean, the reason we have laws and stuff like that that are actually allowing people to have guns on campus is because, I mean, you have a lot of crime, you have a lot of stuff surrounding these colleges and stuff like that, and especially one of the main things that could actually be discussed and debated for a pro stance on on-campus guns is actually about rape. Rape is literally one of the big things. People, I mean, there's a number that literally says that 1 in 5 women will be raped on campus. And if that's even if it wasn't, even if it was true, I'm not debating whether it is true or not. But if that is the actual number, wouldn't it be good if women would be allowed to have a gun so they can defend themselves? If they can't defend themselves, then they're just going to be raped. Why not allow them to have at least the resources to defend themselves from the rapist?
Exactly. That's another good example as to why colleges never get shot up, because there's a lot of people armed on them. And if there's a gun-free zone, that's where all the shooters go to and stuff. Do you think there will ever be a war between the U.S. and Russia, nuclear?
I hopefully so. Please, for the love of God, if they want to have a nuclear war right now, just fucking do it.
Yeah, dude, just let's have it right now. Yeah, that'd be
realistically, no. I think the American and Russian administrations still adopt that policy of MAD. I think that we shouldn't pursue nuclear war, but I think we should at least avoid going to war with each other, especially major nuclear powers such as the United States, Russia, and China. Because having major nuclear powers go at each other is an extremely dangerous thing.
Yeah, exactly. That would be horrible.
Yeah, I mean, it's stupid, in my opinion, at least.
Like, in the next 40 years, no, in the next 40 years, we will know for sure that.
I mean, we're most like, if it's going to happen, then it's going to happen probably, yes, in the next 40 years.
But I mean, it's hard to say, though, because Putin will be like 90-something years old, probably.
Then I think there would probably be a higher chance of having it in the next administrations of Russia in America.
But they would never invade America, that's the thing.
No, there would never be an invasion of Russia or America, especially in today's day and age. Like, it could happen in the past because, I mean, like, the French did it, the Germans did it, but there was no existence of nuclear weapons. Now we have the existence of thermonuclear weapons, and, like, the Russians have a very, very lenient policy on the use of nuclear weapons. They actually outlined it in their manifesto for their military policy, and they actually said that the Russian Federation reserves the right to use nuclear weapons when it sees fit. And you can actually look this up. This is actually a real policy that the Russian Federation has actually adopted. Will there be a war in the next 40 years? Maybe. I'm going to leave it at maybe, because I'm not a military policy expert. I'm not a geopolitical expert. Seeing from what we're looking at right now, yeah, I mean, there's like 100% chance of another proxy war breaking out right now in the next 40 years. But a true United States-Russian confrontation, I give it 35% chance of a true American-Russian confrontation happening in the next 40 years. I mean, World War, I'm not going to say World War, I'm just talking of a just basic US Russian confrontation. And I say confrontation because I'm not talking about full-scale conflict, I'm talking about, like, because if there was a conflict between the United States and Russia, I highly doubt it will last that long. Because A, you're either going to see that both sides will launch their nuclear arsenals at each other, or B, it will only last a couple of days, maybe 10, 20, 30,000 troops are dead max. And you're not going to see a lot of action happening on it because they're going to immediately go after a ceasefire. Because A, they're either going to nuke each other, or B, they're going to stop the war because they don't want to go to war. Nuclear war. But Mr. Cheeky Monkey, I mean, you're looking at it as in, I mean, do you really think that the current NATO, unless there was like a nuclear weapon that went off in something like that, if there was just a complete war that just broke out between the United States and Russia, do you seriously think that the Germans, the British, the French, the Polish, all of them would even want to even get involved with it, especially if the United States was the one getting involved? Because from what we're looking at right now, I'm not saying that what Trump is doing right now is bad, but from what everyone is looking like right now, are you really for certain that NATO would at least obligate, whether it was the United States obligating by Article 5 or whether it was the rest of NATO obligating by Article 5? I'm literally here just like doing these really slow, like, I'm literally like trying to pump out as much oil as I can right now. Trying to find all the like shale oil wells that I can. I'm actually running out of places I can actually try to develop it in. You know what? I actually haven't been looking into Alaska. I completely forgot about Alaska. If there's actually anything else going on into the news, Jake, what's your opinion on the whole Russia investigation?
I would just, I'm for it. I mean, I guess if that needs to take place, I'm for it, I guess. I don't know, Russia, I want to have good relations with Russia, but I don't know. It's better to have good relations than it is to have bad relations, and we all know this. But
I agreed with what Trump said. Like, he said, I would rather take a risk in pursuit of peace instead of taking a risk in pursuit of politics.
Yeah.
Because I actually really, really liked whenever he said that, which I completely agree with it, because, I mean, I would rather... Like, I mean, that's why he's trying to be friendly. People are trying to say, well, Russia has something on him, and, like, they're going to use it as blackmail, something like that, but I'm honestly pretty confident that, like, if they did have something on him, then they would have released it by now. But at the same time, like we should at least still pursue stuff like that, because, I mean, I've had discussions with some family members of mine where like they literally say, well, isn't it like cheat like a Snoopy or something like that? Like what do you call it? Like questionable whenever a head of state, like the American head of state, wants to meet privately with the Russian head of state, no advisors, no nothing in a room. And I'm like, it's not bad.
It happens all the time.
It happens all the time. And they're like, no, it doesn't. And that never happens. And I'm like, yes, it does. Literally, like, if they can speak English, like, they're probably gonna have a talk alone. They usually have to have translators in there if both sides cannot speak the same language.
Yeah.
And then they're like, well, no, like, I mean, like, and I'm like, so what's wrong with it? And they're like, well, it's because it's Russia. I'm like, okay, whatever.
Okay. I would have just ignored it at that point.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I can't really have discussions with that person anymore, so like political discussions at least. Because I mean, they just do not want to understand my point of view.
Yeah. Same people saying that are the same ones that thought it was a good thing that Hillary did that reset button, and then it did good things and stuff, or thought that they.
Yeah, I mean, they spelled reset wrong, so.
Exactly. I gotta.
What?
Hillary.
Will Trump do anything with Russia? Will he provoke them? Obviously not. I mean, look at what's been going on now.
You know, I can't tell what is Akash Benning's or however you say his name, his profile picture on YouTube, but it looks almost like an anarcho-communist logo.
I know, right?
Kind of edging me out.
Edgy.
Yeah, they have a couple words misspelled. I think it's more of a glitch at this point because I don't think they would be that dumb.
Misspelled where?
They misspelled a word somewhere. I don't remember.
Oh, hang on. I think I've actually noticed that before.
It was something like the elections, I think, or something.
Length?
Or like, I don't.
You said length. It is spelled wrong. Hey, what's going on, Hydra? Welcome to the live stream. God, I have so many natural gas wells all over the United States. I think I'm going to go to this next batch. This is going to be in about 40 days. Where I am going to get this next batch of oil wells done, and then I'm going to go ahead and end this live stream. I think 2.5 hours is pretty long enough.
Dude, I didn't know it said overload in Russian. The word, you know, the button, the reset button, it actually said overload.
Hey, I developed the technology.
Edgy. That is so edgy. Oh god, no.
Long space voyage is finally possible for man. Cosmic rays and solar particle protector has been researched. I'm going to refuse to patent it. I'm going to figure out whenever these nuclear power plants are actually supposed to be done. I haven't been fast forwarding anywhere. China, possibility of cyber attack.
The funeral will take place.
Laura McAlney just committed suicide.
Our infiltrated agents.
I'm gonna sabotage the Iranian Space Center.
Nice.
Offer rejected from Mexico. Okay, let me actually check the space research.
The preparation.
Christmas, yes. Journey to Mars, 86%. $107 billion is actually being funded into the program.
Monica Lewinsky. Monica Lewinsky doing a cyberbullying campaign. PG. What are you doing right now?
Oh, I got a Nobel Prize.
You did?
Yeah, I just got a Nobel Prize. This is actually one of the things, inauguration of a multidisciplinary center in Alaska. Yeah.
Wait, what?
I got a Nobel Prize for literature.
What?
This was actually the new feature they actually put in the in this recent update, because there was actually the management of Nobel Prizes and stuff like that, and this actually like gets you like popularity and stuff like that. So this was actually really interesting. So I just got a Nobel Prize for literature.
Nice. I was hoping you would get one for economics, because you could be like
That's the second different one I've actually seen. I think they actually probably have one for economics.
Yeah, in real life they got one for economics, peace, literature, and then I think science,
chemistry,
or mathematics and science. Yeah,
they have it for a lot of different things.
There's only like 6.
In this one, in this game, I've actually gotten the what was it? There was that's actually the second one I've seen. The other one I got was for chemistry.
There are.
I just sabotaged the Iranian space program.
Physics, chemistry, sociology, and economic. That's it.
I don't know that.
3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, there's exactly 6.
Okay.
I swear, if somebody who is a socialist theorist wins the economic sciences, Nobel Prize for economic, whatever they call it, because they change it all the time. I'd be triggered.
Why?
Because I'm almost like a McCarthyist. I think communism and I'm actually one of the smarter rightists that actually knows the difference between communism and socialism.
Mm-hmm.
I know that communism has never been implemented in a country. Like, I would agree with communists on that, because it's actually true. I mean, communism is actually a lesser form of government as compared to socialism. But basically, because it's commune, it's more local. But basically, I personally think that any form of non-market kind of societies, like more planned, or either just flat out no market and it's just communism and socialism with no monetary value, I think that's way more of a threat than Islamic terrorism. And it's because it's killed more people. That's basically my backing of it. What is your opinion on communism or socialism?
I think they're not efficient political ideologies, and every single time they have actually been tried, they've failed. So, and then you can always obviously make the argument while saying, "Oh yeah, well they're not real. They're not real iterations of communism or capitalism or something like that." It's like they were tried. It was like the USSR was literally called the United Socialist Union of Soviet Socialist Republics, and again, that was under socialism, and they were also under communism as well.
Yeah.
And both of them failed, so it's
That's
end
true.
of construction of the Mexican border. The work on the wall is finally finished, now stretches for 1,802 miles. It's stating the obvious. It should bring down illegal immigration. I've never gotten that message before. That's actually really cool.
Oh, nice. That is cool. But basically, like, from what I've read from former Soviet citizens who are now avid supporters of capitalism, like very big supporters of capitalism, they all say that that the Soviet Union, they always told them that they're getting closer and closer to achieving communism, but really it was just complete false, and it was just, it kept killing people, and they just never reached it, and they lied to them and stuff. So it's kind of an interesting thing. And they say that a lot of times they say that it was state capitalism, and I did a little research in the state capitalism, and it's exactly what basically China has, where the state controls the means of the production when it comes to capitalism, like a market.
Mm-hmm.
So the state has pretty much every control into it in corporations, and that's exactly how the Soviets pretty much were towards the end during Mikhail Gorbachev.
Yeah.
Or however you say his name, depending on where you're from.
It was Mikhail Gorbachev.
Yeah, Mikhail Gorbachev. You're right. Mixed based economy is absolutely spot on. Best of both worlds makes sense. I would have to disagree with that, and that's because mixed economies often are in support of a welfare society, like they're in support of welfarism, and welfare just has not worked in pretty much any country in Europe. I mean, there's countries like Scandinavia that Bernie likes to say is so democratic socialist, even though they themselves say that they're a market economy with welfare, so it's welfare capitalism, and they've basically gone in the recessions before, and a lot of other issues in the Scandinavia region, all of those countries that have welfare. I think taxing the corporations and the rich and stuff is kind of stupid. I think income tax is absolutely stupid. I'm for removing income tax and then using sales tax instead.
Yeah, I think removing what do you call it, like income tax, and then replacing it with kind of like a consumption or sales tax. I think that would make a lot more sense.
Have you ever heard of the interstate commerce tax?
No.
PG?
No.
Oh, basically, it's kind of like every state, they would have their own kind of trading things that they would trade, and it kind of fell under the control of like the 10th Amendment, and each state would produce their own stuff. They would then kind of like, the businesses, they were private, they weren't controlled by the state. The state would just tax them when they came in, and that's how the states would make and generate a lot of their money. And they wouldn't be like, high taxes. And in fact, the federal government then wouldn't need to do corporation taxes that much either, and it supported a lot of the economic growth back in the day. It's something you would have to do research on because it's hard to explain otherwise.
Yeah.
Oh, and Nabe, PG, you tell Nabe, because I forgot exactly what you said about doing the value-added tax. You said you were doing something, like a challenge.
Crap. Forgot what it was.
Oh, yeah, you were
doing... yeah, I mean, sometimes I actually institute the value-added tax, and then, that generates, like trillions of dollars worth of income, but I'm actually doing it in a different sense right now, where I'm actually relying on the tax on financial transactions and lowering the actual federal income tax Actually, I'm going to continue that now. I'm going to continue that next time. I'm actually going to go ahead and save the game. I'm going to go ahead and end this live stream, actually. I've been live streaming for nearly 3 hours now.
Yeah, that's pretty long.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Alright, hang on.
I'm gonna like it.
Whoa. I'm gonna go ahead and mute my mic real quick.
Okay. Like that, I'm sad.
Alright, guys, I am going to go ahead and end this live stream right here. I've been live streaming for nearly 3 hours, and this has actually been a very interesting live stream. I've actually increased my renewable energy production. I have been dismantling. I have actually successfully dismantled 6,000 fossil energy plants. It's going to cost a lot of money to actually that got rid of, wow, 200 terawatts worth of power. So that actually hurt us a little bit, but we actually do have a couple of nuclear power plants that are actually coming into production. And then I am actually, next time, I'm going to focus on producing 40 more solar power plants, as well as more nuclear power plants. So guys, without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and end this live stream. If you guys like this video, go ahead and leave a like and subscribe. Go follow me on Instagram. Go follow me on Patreon. Super chat me, guys, if you guys want to support me in that way. And also make sure to go follow, make sure to join that Discord that is listed in the description of the video if you want to talk to me personally. So guys, if you guys like this video, go ahead and leave a like. Subscribe to the channel if you are new here. I love doing these really long live streams because, I mean, it's pretty interesting. I may make a highlight. I will actually do a little bit of a highlight, actually. Just to... Okay, so I'm going to do a highlight like this. And... I'm gonna go... Actually, hang on. This is actually going to be the midterm. Do that. And... do that. And I'm going to go ahead and upload that. So, there's the highlight for this video. So guys, if you guys like this, go ahead and leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Go ahead and go into that Discord that is listed in the description, and also follow me on all the social media that is actually listed. Go support me on Patreon, send me a super chat, whatever you guys want to do. I appreciate all of the support that you guys have been giving me. I love that I have nearly 1,500 subscribers on my channel. I love you guys all for that. So we should actually have a goal of getting me to 1,500 subscribers very, very soon. I really want to do that. I should actually be purchasing my summer car very, very soon. So guys, if you guys want to see a series on that, look forward to that. That is going to be the most memeable series I'm actually going to be able to do. So other than that, guys, if you guys like this, leave a like, subscribe. And guys, I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you guys so much for watching, and take care. Have a great day, and I will see you guys